Hi, I'm Angie Khalar. I'm an outpatient therapist and clinic director at our Duluth location for Nystrom Associates. Today I just thought I would share a few helpful tips on how to deal with anxiety. It's completely normal to experience anxiety symptoms during difficult times and times of uncertainty. So my first tip would be, number one, would be to focus on those things that are within your control versus, all the things that are outside of your control. One of the things that comes to the top of my head right off the bat, for an example of something that we can try to better manage, would be to limit our news consumption. So while I feel that, it's important to stay informed, I also think that too much news can cause unnecessary worry and anxiety. So just really try to limit how much news you're taking in from the various platforms, whether that's the, television, radio, social media. Something else that's within our control is trying to, think of ways to practice self-care. There are many ways to do this, whether, it's going to maybe look a little different for everyone, but, some things could be going for a walk or listening to music or doing a crossword puzzle or finding ways to be creative. So, those are things that we can do that are within our control. I think it's also important to stay connected with others during this time. Despite the social distancing, I think that there are ways that we can try to find to still feel connected so we don't feel so isolated, whether that's texting someone or calling or using, various platforms to do the video chatting, or even just sending a card or a letter. Those are ways that we can stay connected. Number two, this one's important. Make sure that you're being kind to yourself. I think that, it's easy to kind of slip into these patterns of, negative self-talk and catastrophizing and jumping to conclusions, especially when we have so much going on. And so one way that you can kind of, combat this is to create a list of coping statements. This would be a list of things that you can continue to add to or refer to when you're noticing those pesky negative thoughts, coming in. A couple examples of coping statements would be, it's okay to feel this way, or this won't last forever, or I'm doing the best I can. So, creating that list of coping statements and kind of going back and referencing it can be super helpful. And lastly, number three, don't underestimate your ability to cope. We've all been through difficult things in our life and we've been able to cope through them and survive. And so I would just remind yourself of that. And also just remember you're not alone in this. We're all in this together. So be well, take care, and just remember you're very capable.